Hello and thank you for joining me today on Horror Gamer 93. We will be looking at the Cryothesia 77K on Destiny 2. So let's go. Okay, so I'm just over in Soriks Cut on the Tangled Shore, going to head over to one of the lost sectors over there. But just before I do, quick look at the weapon. So it's the Cryothesia 77K. I might have butchered the pronunciation, so if I've mispronounced it, please let me know in the comments because I haven't got a clue how to pronounce that properly. But anyway, the weapon itself is a sidearm. It's an exotic. I can't actually remember where I got it from. I think it was either through Beyond Light or the new season that came out. I can't actually remember. So it is a stasis weapon, which I think is quite cool. And if you've played the Beyond Light expansion, then you'll know what stasis is. If you haven't played it, then go and play it, and you'll find out. So the quick look at the stats, and the range on this is really good. Really good range. The reload speed, it could be a bit better. Along with the handling as well, it could be a little bit better. But overall, it's not bad at all. And it's 1273 is my power rating on it. So that's pretty good. Rounds per minute, 260, which I don't really believe. I don't think we can do that. Magazine is 13. And you'll also see the charge time, and that's because it has a variable trigger. So you just press and release for your standard individual shots, and you hold to fire a charged shot when liquid cooling is active. So what this does is when you hold it down, it basically shoots like a freezing shot at your enemy, which does, obviously freezes them. The only downside to it is, even if you've got a full clip, if you fire that charged shot, it takes your whole clip, so you have to reload, which I feel is a bit... I feel like the way they could have made that better was, like, when the liquid cooling is active, every shot should be a freezing shot. That would have been so much cooler. But then, would it make the weapon OP? I feel like it would, but I feel like it also would have been better. But I don't know, like, discuss it down in the comments. Let me know what you think would be a better trait for it. So let's go over to the old lost sector. Also, I'm still really bunged up, so if you hear me like sniffling and heavy breathing, I still feel like death warmed up. So, yeah. So, I don't actually have the ornament for this item yet. I think you get it at the end of the latest season, which is the season of the Splicer. I think you get it when you hit rank 100. I don't actually have the catalyst for it either, so I need to try and find the catalyst. If you know where to get it from, then let me know. So this is the Wolfship Turbine lost sector on the Tangled Shore. So let's just drop down here. So I mean, the impact is really good. My only issue with it is that it's not fully auto trigger. That's kind of what pulls this weapon down for me a little bit. I've used sidearms in the past that are full auto, and they work so much better. You know, when you compare it to something like Farewell, yes, the range isn't as good, but when you compare the stats, you know, the reload speed, the handling, a lot better. And it's a full auto trigger system. So for me, full auto is much better to use. And that's also why I don't think you can get that many rounds per minute out of this. I don't know, to me it's quite slow. I suppose it just depends how quick your trigger finger is, really. I mean, if you can press it quick, then yeah, you're all good. And you know, this is my issue with sidearms that aren't full auto. When you're in situations like this where you are surrounded and you're getting your ass kicked, I feel like the full auto trigger, well, the non-full auto trigger, the lack of, it does go against you. Ooh, what have I just picked up there? Phoenix Protocol. Hello. Gain super energy for kills and assist inside the well of radiance. Ooh, okay, that's fancy. Can't equip it though, but oh well. Anyway, I'm here to talk about the weapon, not about what I'm picking up. So let's have a look at the range. I mean, yeah, you know what? That was a good little distance away, and it still took 2 hits, which I think for this weapon is, I think 2 shots is the average really, unless you're like headshot on the first one, then yeah. So you can see on the screen it says LN2 burst ready, and it's just expired, obviously. So that's obviously, you know, your charged shot for the weapon. So I mean, I wouldn't recommend this for bigger enemies, you know. Again, I think it's that lack of full auto trigger that kind of goes against you. And I think the grenade helped me out there. So you can see that there, enemy's totally frozen. I guess it gives you, a little bit of time to focus on other enemies. So, I mean, in reality, I suppose you could hit the boss with it, take care of the smaller enemies around you that, because for me, I find that when I'm dealing with a boss and I'm surrounded by other enemies, I like to get the other enemies out of the way first so I can focus on the boss. So what you could do is freeze the boss, kill the other enemies, and then you can focus on the boss. So I suppose it's quite cool. I mean, I suppose this weapon's more of a novelty than anything. That's just how I feel anyway. Because like you can freeze your enemy with it, and it's stasis, and for me, I just feel like it's a bit of a novelty weapon, just to say that, oh yeah, I've got that. It's cool. But I think like if you're just running around like this, then it's actually a pretty good weapon. I mean, let's go over and do this. Let's go and do this public event as well. Let's get involved. The reload speed's pretty good, in all honesty. Even these bigger enemies, not the ones with like the yellow bar, but more the ones that are just a bit bigger than your regular enemies. That even they only take 2 or 3 shots, so it's still not too bad when you look at the impact. Just these bigger enemies though, I don't know, to me it doesn't seem like it does anything. I don't know, maybe I'm being pessimistic. Is that the right word? I think it is, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, you know, all in all, not a terrible weapon by any means. But for me, it's the lack of the full auto trigger. That's what bothers me. Like, I get why it's not fully automatic, because obviously, how else would you do the, you know, the charged shot? So I suppose you can't have this weapon fully automatic, because if you made it fully auto, you would lose out on the charged shot. So it's like, what would you rather have? A weapon with a cool little perk, well, not a perk, but kind of like, you know, like an alternate firing mode, if you like, or would you rather have a full auto trigger? You know, I suppose those are the two things that you got to weigh up. But I mean, you know, overall, it's a good weapon. I enjoy it. I love using my sidearms and stuff like that. I think they're really cool little weapons. But I mean, let's a quick farewell. So, full auto, you know, it just seems like more fun when you've got something that's full auto. I just enjoy it more, you know, the rapid firing, and you know, it's more pleasing to use. And the reload speed on this, it still seems really quick. So yeah, I mean, that's the Cryothesia for you guys. Good weapon, really good weapon, but I do feel like it's just a novelty. I don't use it often. It's not something that I equip and run around with all the time, purely because I prefer my submachine guns, my auto rifles and stuff like that. So yeah, but I mean, you know what, let me know what you think, guys. If you enjoy this weapon, let me know why, because I mean, it is quite cool. But I mean, if you use it regularly, then by all means let me know why. So thank you very much, guys, and we'll leave it there, and I'll see you next time.